I'll begin with the Colorado Rockies, a team that is in dire need of some farm production because they're coming off a 43-win season in 2025. 2 more wins than the Chicago White Sox had the year prior, where they went 41 and 121. We'll go top 5 strengths, weaknesses, and diamond in the rough. I'll get you guys input from time to time here because they start off with some big names. Number 1 is Ethan Holliday, shortstop. ETA is set for 2029. This is the latest apple to fall off of the Holliday tree. You, of course, had Matt a couple of decades ago. Jackson was the first overall pick in 2022, and now it's Ethan Holliday. And according to Jackson, this apple's better than the last one. He said himself, his brothers got more pop, and at their respective parts of their career, when Ethan was coming out of high school, was drafted right away, Jackson said, my brother is ahead of where I was at this point. A lot of people had Ethan going number 1 overall. It ended up being Eli Willits. Ethan Holliday fell to number 4 and went to his dad's team in Colorado. But this is the scouting report on Mr. Holliday. 6'4", 210, a lot closer of a frame to that of Matt Holliday. Didn't waste any time getting on a professional diamond either. As soon as he got drafted, registered 17 hits in 18 games, finished out the year in Single-A Fresno, smacked a couple of home runs with 6 runs batted in. The strikeout rate, albeit a very small sample size, was high. He struck out 33 times compared to his 71 at-bats. So 18 years old, serious raw power. Obviously, you're going to have some attributes to work on, but they're grading his power at 65. And look, I know Colorado fans have had it tough. They're probably going to end up having to make some deals up top to really change that 43 and 119 record, I think it was. Farm system doesn't have a ton of depth, but these top-end guys, if Ethan Holliday and the next guy I'm about to mention get hit, end up being hits, they'll feel a lot better because these guys are mashers. Holliday is one. Charlie Condon is another. And we're going to see him supposedly this year. I don't know why we wouldn't, to be honest with you. He's got the makings of being a 3 or 4 tool player. Another very large frame. He's 6'6", 215. Condon was the team's first-round pick in 2024. This was his college journey, which I think you want to talk about crazy stories and meteoric rises. Here we go. Redshirt freshman next year. Sets the SEC freshman home run record with 25 of them next year. 2024 Golden Spikes Award winner. He hit .433 in Division I and then had a 1565 OPS and made his way to minor league ball. From there, the Rockies said, thank you at 3rd overall. Nuts. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Basically took the approach that Ethan Holliday did the year prior. Gets drafted, let me go out there and take my licks right away. We got the full look at everything this past year. 14 long balls, 58 runs batted in, 820 OPS over the course of a 99-game stretch that led him to Double-A Hartford with the Yard Goats. Awesome mascot, by the way. Battled a hand injury here and there that occasionally comes up and nags him once in a while. That's led to some strikeout issues too and some weird stuff with mechanics. Speed just isn't there. That's why I called him a 3 or 4 tool player, and the speed's not going to be there. He's going to be a 30 home run guy. That is what they're looking for, at least, at 6'6", 210. 1565 OPS, boys. I don't know if you can, rack your brain for any college seasons that were that crazy. Skeens lit it up on the mound, but Charlie Condon's a dude. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, just unbelievable. I mean, when that's just incredible to fathom. I mean, getting on that often, the extra base hits that much. That's just incredible. And I mean, of course, cores, even those numbers in cores would be just otherworldly. But I mean, if he can keep it going all the way up to that hitter's ballpark, that would be amazing to watch.
The size that Condon's got is only going to help him produce more power, right? I think he needs to add probably about 20 to 30 pounds more muscle, and we might see him hit 40 homers with regularity, especially playing in a place like Coors Field in Denver.
Cole Carrigg, outfielder / shortstop. They're still looking to move him around a little bit. His ETA is also this year. Arguably the best arm on defense in this Rockies pipeline right now in terms of positional players, right? 70 grade, has truly played all over the diamond. You'll notice that with a few of these top 30 guys in the Rockies system. They haven't been so eager to box someone in and say, you have to be a second baseman. You have to be our left fielder. If someone's versatile, they are leveraging that. And Carrigg is no different. Taken in competitive balance round B of the 2023 draft. Scouting report got real creative with the wording on this one. They said he did everything at San Diego State except selling hot dogs. So he played all over the diamond, showed flashes of all 5 tools while playing all over the diamond. Also described him as basically an energy bunny, saying he plays with his hair on fire, runs hard, plays hard. He's a gamer. He's a switch hitter, and you'll see that this reputation carries over to his work on the base paths too, being that energizer bunny. 53 stolen bags in 2024. 46 steals this last year as he started to rank up Colorado's system. Essentially got a full season at Hartford last season. OPS fell over 100 points to just 710, but he was still a pretty stingy hitter. Back-to-back seasons of over 30 extra base hits in total and 15 homers. He is, again, expected to debut this year. I could 100% see it considering the Rockies they can't claim they're blocking anyone, right? They're struggling in the majors, but in general, if this guy can play 3, 4, 5, 6 positions and he hits well, you're going to find a reason to put him in the lineup. Number 4 is Robert Calaz. He's a outfielder. His ETA a couple of years back, 2028. Really well-rounded talent. Just turned 20 years old a month ago. $1.7 million international signee at the start of the 2023 period. They cashed out on him. They believed in him. Just for reference, right? A lot of those top-tier guys like Ethan Salas, they're in that range. So in terms of raw talent, he's there. And right off the rip, he posted a 984 OPS in the Dominican Summer League. He's played a healthy amount of games, ramping up from 62 contests to 99 over the course of the last 2 seasons. Crazy raw power. Still learning to kind of harness it at 6'2", 200. But the exit velocity, all the advanced metrics, they are there. He's just struggling with breaking balls out of the zone. Colorado does feel like this guy could project to be a 5-tool player. Everything's between 50, 55, starting to peak up towards 60 on his grading system and his scouting. He's supposed to get more and more reps in center field, too, with right field being a cop-out option. We'll get your guys' take on this next person. I've been following him since his Iowa days, and not just his Iowa baseball days, but his Iowa football days. This is Brody Brecht, hard-throwing righty, ETA 2027. Was on the Hawkeyes football team for not 1 but 2 years. It wasn't quite the Jameis Winston story where he was getting a ton of playing time in both areas, but he'd go on to the diamond, flex his triple-digit fastball in the spring, and then after being redshirted his first year, he stayed on the team. I think got a couple of receptions as a wide receiver. I'll have to fact-check that, and then had to make the full-time switch over his junior year. So has one of the most dangerous arms coming out of the Big Ten for his draft class. 70 grade fastball, 70 grade slider. And some thought he would be a traditional top 30 first-round pick. Colorado grabbed him eagerly at 38th overall. The issue with a lot of these guys, right, stuff is electric. This is alarming. At least it's his Iowa numbers and not what he had last year. He's gotten better. 6.8 walks per 9 at Iowa. That's not great. You kind of want to be around like 2 or 3, and that's even pushing it in certain instances. Yikes. So Rockies pitching staff's looking at honing in on his mechanics, making him stay in the strike zone. Even if you sacrifice a couple of MPHs, whatever, 95 Ks and 61 innings of work for single-A Fresno. He's also walked 35 hitters, so not quite the 6.8 per 9, more in the 4 to 5 range. Hard to hit, struggles to hit the zone. Tale as old as time with guys who have electric arms who are still trying to harness it, right? Started all 20 games, has a 2.51 earned run average. I don't think there's really, unless he all of a sudden becomes super accurate, a future where he is a rotation piece. I don't care how thin Colorado gets. This guy's a closer or a high leverage setup guy. He's got the electric stuff. He's got a couple of really good pitches. Unless he rounds out the pitch arsenal, learns how to locate everything, and can keep the MPHs up, I think Brody Brecht is a closer. I don't know your guys' take on that in general. Great athlete, right? Throws really, really hard, but even when they're starting him, quote unquote, he's throwing like 3-4 innings.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just kind of looking at it, it's just that you talk about the story and making it, as a wide receiver to that transition, talk all the time about, those dual sport athletes, how you can kind of use that mindset from one sport to the other. So kind of that same kind of hand-eye coordination with receiver into pitcher. So yeah, I think it also also goes back to the conversation we had on this show last week. I believe it was with the hard thrower with the command issues versus a guy who's a softer tosser, with more command. So that's what he's got to figure out. I think the Rockies have had a few guys, especially recently, who have had that issue. Of course, the altitude really doesn't help pitching. We know that, but they've had guys that just really haven't put it together with the speed, with the velocity, and with the control. Maybe he can be an outlier, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting how they tweak him, and make those adjustments starting in single A.
Yeah, and to fact check here, Corey, Brody Brecht had 9 receptions for 87 yards in the 2022 college football season and 1 carry for 4 yards.
What a dog. See, he's not just bench riding. Got about to catch a game.
Say no to sports specialization in the future.
Amen.
No sports specialization. Play all the sports you want, kids.
9 catches. I thought it was like 3. Let's go. Awesome. See, dual sport athlete through and through. Absolutely love to see it. I'm a big fan of that too, Sam. I mean, there's multiple seasons for a reason, right? Play this here. Keep warm. Do your recovery program. Work on your mechanics. But if you're a really good receiver and you also throw 100 miles an hour, let's not waste the talent here, right? I'll go quick here on Diamond in the Rough strengths and weaknesses. My Diamond in the Rough is the exact opposite of Brody Brecht in every single way. Sean Sullivan, I think I brought him up on this channel well before the podcast, probably about a year ago. But if you've hung around this channel long enough, you also know I love guys who are crafty. They got a big pitch arsenal. Sean Sullivan is that, and he's the number 12 prospect in Colorado's system as a southpaw. He is supposed to debut this year. Fastball that barely breaks 90 miles an hour. It actually averaged 88, 89. Control is his best pitching attribute at a 60 grade. In 3 years of professional baseball, he's yet to have an earned run average over 3. He struck out 239 hitters over 223 pitch, so it's not like he's getting all weak contact. And he has just 41 walks in 223 innings. So literally the opposite of Brody Brecht in every single way. He's not a righty. He's a lefty. He throws about 10 miles an hour slower with his primary pitch, the fastball, and he does not walk hitters at all. Pitching for the Rockies obviously becomes a huge challenge when it comes to Coors Field, but this guy just has a way of wiggling through the lineup, being a steady option. He has that lower arm slot, not quite submarine, but it has that upshot effect that's messing with guys a ton right now. And yeah, so the slider's the only pitch he's really not able to locate, still experimenting with that. But he's got the diversified skill set, more of a finesse guy for sure. Strengths, I have one word, power. We've got guys with pop up and down this top 30. We talked about a couple of them in Ethan Holliday, Charlie Condon, and Robert Calaz. Even their second base prospect in Rob Riggio put up a 880 OPS and a slugging percentage north of 500 across 4 levels last year. Very promising. You got the booming bats and obviously the Mile High City effect too. Weaknesses outside of Sean Sullivan, ready-made pitching. And pitching's always going to be tough there, but I don't see a lot of names who are supposedly ready this upcoming season. A few who might have their hand forced. Sullivan could be example of one, but it's tough knowing you don't have a ton of guys showing major league stuff on their way up. And then they got to go and try and pitch at that ballpark. So a tale as old as time, a team that hits a lot of tanks in the Mile High City, but might be struggling in the pitching department. But Sean Sullivan, look out for him, man. He'll hardly throw 90, but maybe he ends up being a middle-of-the-rotation piece for them.
I've seen enough. Welcome back, Jamie Moyer.
Exactly. Good pull. I was going to say Randy Wolf, actually. Good stuff.
Randy Wolf's a good one, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Soft
drop.
tossing lefties. And I mean, maybe again, there's something with Coors where that movement, that elevation can make that, 88 look a bit like 92. There's a rise that can get, I don't know, maybe it'll play, especially at Coors. Maybe on the road, you just sit him on the bench. I don't know. Maybe they'll have to figure that out.